There we go. We are live. Welcome to SEO This Week, episode 170. Wow, I made it to
There we go.
170. So, just so you know, I'm recording the schema videos for that course. So that's fun. Not. It actually takes quite a while because you record the videos and then I'm rendering them and then I'm putting them out and publishing them and putting them on the site. So it's taking a little bit of time, a little bit slower process than I remembered from the last time I did this for the core SEO course. But hey, it is what it is. It's actually, hopefully, it's worth it for everybody once that becomes available. So I think that'll be awesome, you know, for what it's worth. um, then let's see what else we're doing. Doing a lot of tests in SIA still. So that's running on pretty smoothly with Dory Friend and myself and the whole team over there and all of our testers. And then I'm actually still rebuilding Digital Ear and trying to get over the top SEO back up. If you don't remember, back when that last Google update hit, over the top got hit, and it was all of our pages that didn't have any backlinks. They were all ranking because of the on-page skills. Because Google's like, oh, so you need backlinks here too, so we're going to take these out. So it's kind of a good and bad because you show that your backlinks still matter, but the bad thing is now I need backlinks for a lot of pages. So, but we're building that out and still doing that and still doing a lot of internal projects, and then I got some other projects going on with some other people. So I think it's the rest of the year looks like hopefully a lot better than the first half. With all that madness said, I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen. And here's the stories for this week. It's, as you see, web stories, testing tool fail, and PPL. So let me go ahead and get right on it. If so, this one is from Joy Hawkins, and I don't, I kind of get on her a lot about different things, but when she puts out decent information, why not share it? So in this case, she's talking about GMBs and the impact that your URL actually has in your optimization. So a lot of us, including myself, if I do a map for let's take Digital Ear for instance, and typically I just use the homepage because that's the least location specific, but it has a lot of copy in order to convert it into a lead for me. Well, I used to before. Now it's covered with Lauren Nimson because I'm rebuilding it. But and Joy actually did a test where she's got a lawyer and they have multiple locations in Manhattan here. And what she did is she's changing the maps or some of her maps to specific URLs inside of there. So just because you can have, for example, you can have a firm, and each lawyer can have a map as well as that firm. And she's taking the lawyers and essentially using those to create relevance for specific search terms by using the URL for the practice type inside the maps. And that's how she got a boost on a map. So that's pretty interesting. Just kind of something for you guys to think about as you build out your maps. In particular, if you're quote unquote allowed to have multiple maps, uh, you know, do as you will. But if you're going to have one site that's going to run multiple maps for you, then take the time to make pages that are optimized for that specific location and those keywords, and you might actually get a better result versus just throwing it up. So I thought that was pretty cool. Next one is the announcement that the structured data testing tool is being replaced by the rich results test. And this is supposed to be an upgrade, but frankly, it's like a downgrade. You can do the rich results test and you can see results for anything that would show a snippet inside of the search results, which is implying that Google only wants schema for you to leverage the search results and populate that with more information so that you can reduce the CTR or the bounce rate from the search results. And ergo, Google gets to take your content that you're still kind of giving them with rich snippets only and turn that into ad revenue for them. So I'm not ignorant as to why they're doing this. This is a business decision. But in the long run, it actually sucks for those of us that are really leveraging schema the right way versus the average clown that just plugs in a a plugin or some kind of JSON deployment screen and just spits out the minimum stuff. So it sucks, and hopefully they change their mind about depreciating the structured data testing tool. I don't think they will, but hopefully they do. I know that I and a bunch of SEOs jumped on them on Twitter when they announced this on their Twitter account, but as always, they didn't respond. So I'm guessing it's not going to change anything. Maybe we should do a change.org and try to get them to do it that way. Speaking of the search results, this is actually a good eye tracking study for the search results, and just saying that it's showing the impact of different snippets, etc., and what they do to search. And you can see here, this is a good illustration of the featured snippet. This site is providing the information for Google. Google's showing it, and then 9 times out of 10, the visitor who actually would do this search is not going to read that because they got the answer they wanted already. So they're not going to go to the website. So it actually hurts them. So when you tie those two things in together, and Google gets to get, quote unquote, Google's provided the answer by taking your content that you marked up and turning it into Google providing the answer, and the rich snippets thing, you kind of see where that's going. It's to keep them on Google and keep them off your website. Web stories by Google. This is pretty interesting. If you have Instagram stories and you mess with that, it's just a series of pictures, and you pop them in, and you can put text on here and all kinds of stuff, and it essentially write your article in a pictures format. The web stories program is actually available. I signed up for it a week ago, maybe a week and a half, and I got the invite to implement that if I wanted to on my site. And it's a WordPress plugin right now. It's actually fairly interesting if you want to try those out and just capture some mobile stuff, especially if you're going to do some small topic things that maybe take 10, 20 pictures, do a quick little story. There's a sentence for each picture, and knock it out that way. So this is pretty interesting. The article's positioned like they're the foremost expert, but let's be real, it just implemented the web stories on WordPress just recently. And if you've ever had any interaction with Facebook stories or Instagram stories, then you know how web stories work. So they're just trying to capture some of that market. Product triangle: technology, users, the business, and the product, and how does it all fit? And this article talks to you about how to use this diagram to illustrate more so for if you are running your own business, you see how it goes in your marketing, how SEO fits in there. And if you're a agency owner, you can actually turn around and use this information to kind of help illustrate to your clients a little bit better what you're doing, why you're doing it, and then the potential ROI from it. So that's a good information piece, and it's a good piece for adding to your sales process if you want to talk about that. And this article is using heat maps and how to use that. It's set up is how to use it to make your SEO strategy the next level, but really, I think this is more of a CRO thing. There's probably the things that he lists. 2 of them have really anything to do with SEO, and the rest is all conversion rate optimization. So this is a good post if you are into CRO, and something you should really check out. Speaking of heat maps, if you can use something like Hotjar if you want to. I find that Hotjar actually slows the websites down that we have it installed on. If you have Clicky Analytics and a paid account over there, you have access to heat maps automatically. Typically, that's what I prefer to use if I'm going to have analytics already on there and the heat map. Why not just knock it out with one thing with Clicky Analytics, and it works just as fine. So I would check those out. And plus, you can use Clicky Analytics to bounce your data off of your Google Analytics account and make sure that what is being reported is accurate, because Google has some filters in there, and then that might get a little stingy, or they have some filters that make traffic a little loose, and then you can look at Clicky and kind of compare those two and come up with the a better representation of your traffic for your reporting or your understanding of how your website is doing. All right, so let's talk about the tools and tactics. There's actually just two this week, and one is this table scraper. This is actually pretty cool. So basically, what you do if you have a web page that has a whole bunch of has a table on it, and you need all that data. For example, let's go to zipcodes.com, and I want to let's go. See what happens here. There's some data on there. We're gonna use that, and you go in and drop it in here. Push the little button, and then there's the tables. And then what you can do is it'll select the table, show script tables. Select your table number, table 6. There's that information, and then download it to the CSV. So that's really cool, especially if you're doing a lot of that data and data scraping. You just plug it in there and pull those tables, and it's already done for you. Versus highlighting and just copy pasting it into an Excel spreadsheet. You just use this for you, and it kind of does all that work for you. And the next one is a through SERP analyzer. This is actually pretty cool. I like it a lot. And what you can do is put in a keyword, Phoenix, and I'm going to go to here. See if I can find, there's Arizona, and I'm just going to do that and then scrape the SERP. It's going to go out and do exactly what it, scrape the SERP. It takes just a little bit, but there's a whole lot of cool data in here that I think you'll recognize, especially if you've been following me any sort of time and you see that I really like SERPworks. So using this, I can do a much quicker analysis of the search results versus running a Quora report or doing it manually with SERPworks, or even running a Quora Lite and just kind of come in here and see what's going on. So you can click on the left panel and it'll do all these things for you, but you click on this and you see the headings, H1, H2s, H3s. Those are there, the meta description, the image count, the word count, and how many outbound links. Really quick review of the information that's going on there. 750 words, 767 words, 21 images, 25 outbound links, and here's all their heading tags. And you kind of get the knowledge there. So, and then you also have the SERP stats. There's the average word count, content date, images, search, no featured snippets, so there's no grab there to go after, and then more information about the pages right here. All of this to say, this is essentially, I don't want to call it POP, but POP is basic. I always talk about POP being the basic SEO tool, but if you can, you'll see all this stuff, and if you wanted to get a little bit more manual to it, a little bit, this is essentially what POP's doing, is going in and finding those things and then counting it and saying, hey, and comparing it to yours and saying, hey, you need to fix, right? So this is again, it's a manual thing, but you can also download all this data. As a matter of fact, I didn't even try to download it last time. Let's see what we get. Search data, keywords, it's kind of limited. The SERP title, and then all the headings. What is this stuff? And this is the individual pages and the information that's on those individual pages. So again, really cool. I think it's a decent tool. The output's not too bad. I'm not sure what you do with this, other than if you're looking for ideas to do your headings. You can take that stuff and kind of go through here and find some good ones and save you the writing time, really, just building that out. FAQs, no one is using that. Links, these are a lot of links out, but you can see kind of where everyone's linking to. Most of it's to their citations, it looks like. Yeah, their maps, citations, maps, Angie's List, and social. So pretty cool. So check that tool out. Again, they're both free, and you get the links right here in the tools and tax section. Yeah, Brittany said that Thur is awesome. He's surprised it's still free. I found it yesterday when I was looking through some responses for the structured data testing tool, and then I just found this guy, and he said something interesting, so I clicked on his feed and accidentally found it. So, if you knew about it, Brittany, you're holding a secret. What's wrong with you? But it's pretty cool. I actually enjoy this tool quite a lot. So, throw it in the bookmark for sure. Let's see. You get so many tabs in the export. Yeah, there's way too many. I think it's kind of like that's it reminds me a little bit of the Quora report, and sometimes there's just so much stuff there. Remember, I don't know if you guys used it in the old days, but there was if there's 100 URLs, so there's 100 things in the table, and it was just madness. So and a lot of hiding and stuff. And that sheet just now just kind of remind me of the Quora report. So there's that. Okay. All right, so the Meet the Expert segment, not doing it this week. Didn't have anyone I really wanted to talk to. And like I said, I'm recording the videos for the show. So what we're going to do is kind of start our PPL thing. And I want to jump into the keyword research. And I'm not entirely sure how I want to go about this because I'm doing the on-page course. So I don't want to give all my stuff away, especially if I'm going to do it for the on-page course. But I'm going to give you a basic overview of what I do, and then you're going to have to fill in the blanks on your own. Otherwise, by the on-page course when it comes out, and hopefully you do that. So we're going to jump back over in here, and we're going to do our roofing. That's what we're going to do for PPL. And if you're looking for people that take offers and stuff, just know that like Home Advisors, and there's a bunch of other networks that actually pay for your leads, especially if you're doing a phone call thing. If you're going to do a rank and rent position, which is probably what I'm going to do with this project, is do rank and rent, then all you really got to do is get the numbers and do call tracking numbers and switch those for locations and send them right to whoever's buying the leads from you. Easy peasy. So the first thing we want to do is actually look at some keyword research. So we know the roofing is going to be pretty decent, right? So I think it's kind of a foregone conclusion. And I want to turn on keywords everywhere. And let's redo this. And there we go. So we get to see keywords everywhere and some things that you're looking for. Roofing companies, etc. One thing I'll caution you is just because it says $1,300 a month, there's $1,300 a month that are searching for this particular term and some of the broad related terms, etc. This here is a new feature. It's a trend feature. And then you get the competition numbers. It's kind of subjective based off of what the keywords everywhere folks are doing. So, but what we want to do is kind of come up with a set of keywords that we're going to monitor and go after, and we're going to use our competition to actually do it. So Home Advisor, I ignore for most things, but when you're fighting against their best of thing, it's a little bit harder to ignore them. So we're going to do that. And I think I have this shut off. I'll just do without it for right now. Yeah, and we go in here and you see this is a list of roofers. So Google likes directories, and just kind of the way it is. So and there's no descriptions in here. So really, at the end of the day, it's probably not something we're going to be uh, actually caring about too much in here because of them. But there's roofers, um, roofing and construction, and roofing contractors. So really, that's kind of what we're stuck with. So we do roofing and roofing contractors. Okay, so we know that. And then we're going to go to the next one here. These guys are doing pretty good. They're ranking, right? So traffic from this keyword is estimated at 280 a month for number 2 position, which is, this is indicative right here, is to my claim that users are tired of going to search engines and getting results for search engines. So look at that traffic estimation difference for the website. Now, this is Yelp here. So you see there's the listing or the traffic estimation stuff is a little bit bad, but it's based off of keywords and where you're ranking. So, and so we're gonna look here and roofing helicopter. Let's see, standard roofing, roofers, and I'm gonna do roofers in roofing, roof repair and replacements. Repair, roof replacements, roofers and roofing, or roofers in, that might kind of collect together. So we don't specifically target them separately, probably. Roofing, we're good. I think we got, and then there's types of roofs. These are also, when you're doing your structure and stuff, this will be useful in your structures. I'm going to write it down right now, but you're doing your silos and things. You can do pitched roofs, flat roofs, and build your silos out, and then repairs. So roof repairs is a good one. This is actually a really good site to model. Commercial, pitched and flat, silos. This is their other stuff that they do. So Lions Roofing. Lionsroofing.com. Be a good one to model. I'm going to skip Yelp. Go here. There's roofing. Best roofing companies. That's a good one. Residential roofing. This site is really SEO'd out. Jeez. Commercial roofing. Roofing industry leaders. Gutter installation. Rain gutter installation. This is a kind of a, it's not always going to be there, but it might be something. So you make a whole page just for that if you wanted to. There's roofing contractors again. Best Phoenix roofing companies. What do I got? Best Phoenix companies. I'm going to save that. Roofing contractor. I got that one already. I got the plural, so we're good. Not too horrible. And I'll do just one more just for the sake of time. But really what you want to do is go through the top 20. Regardless of the keyword you're looking for, and go through the top 20. Roofing, contractor, commercial, residential, roofing company, Phoenix, Tucson, Wisegot Roofing, residential, commercial. Not too much different. Yeah, the menu doesn't break it down, so there's probably not a silo down here. It's kind of a smaller site, so no big deal. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention while you're also doing, and you want to go in here and see what the call to action is. So some niches will be an e-com call to action, buy this product. The other one is going to be email submit your lead and get more information, schedule a thing. And then the other ones would be phone calls. And in roofing, it's kind of obvious. They want to get phone calls, right? So Some of that needs to be adjusted a little bit. Hold on. So you're looking at for phone calls for this one. So make sure that you're actually targeting the right thing, especially for PPL. If if they're looking for leads and you're trying to generate phone calls, guess what you're gonna do? Right? I mean, they're looking for form submits and you're trying to generate phone calls. You're gonna fail. You know what I mean? So this one here is contact us. There's no distinct request a free estimate. What is this? Let's click that. That's form fill. That's pretty dumb. To me, if the value here, you should have someone answering your phone. Why would you have a phone call or a form for a roofer? Let's look in here. Call, contact us today. Form submit. There's the phone numbers. Call to actions really suck on this. I would be looking for forms. Contact us. They want phone calls. Don't let them fool you just because they got a form here. I know that people are afraid, or they say that people want to talk on the phone, but you're going to need to use a phone. I mean, seriously, for this market, the phone is going to be the ones that convert. So I would actually highlight that a little bit more. But you also can see, based off these sites, these guys are looking for form submits too. So I guess kind of grab everything if it were, but that is what it is. Next, we're going to do is since we did that, I closed this one. I shouldn't have. I want to copy this because it's pretty much a good example of a good site, and then I use this. This is rather expensive tool compared to the other keyword research tools, but I've been using it like forever. So we're going to go ahead and just bust it out, and you can drop a website in here and just let it scrape. And then I'll actually drop my keyword in here to roofing contractor. Contractors. Now I'm going to use roofer Phoenix. Set my ad synonyms because I want to see traffic that's higher than 30, and then I'll just go to town with it. And while that one's running, you'll see that this one's running. It's pulling in almost essentially the same information, but you see these primary keywords and stuff, and the niches, and this is really your silo. It's kind of mapped out for you already, and you plug all this information in a spreadsheet and make sure that you're targeting the right set of keywords. And at the end of the day, you probably in a brand new website, you just want to pick 10. So there's some things that I like to do, especially in this tool, is look at these here: roofing contractor, commercial roofer, roofing companies near me. There's 3 pages right there that I know I'm going to make just because of the tool and the top results and the way it's spread out. There's another one: tile roofers, shingle roofers. This is important, especially in Arizona, because tiles and shingles, there's 2 different things. Tiles just tend to last longer in Arizona because of the heat. And so you kind of see how that goes right there. And then if you do the Phoenix roofer, that's just going to keep pulling. But so at the end of the day, what I do is I take all this information, I'll plug it in a spreadsheet, and then I'll toss it around with the different cities I'm going to target. For the project that I'm going to do with you guys on SEO this week, and you just kind of follow along a little bit, is going to be targeting the cities of Arizona, the cities in Arizona. And I'll just make a spreadsheet with this information inside of it, and it will allow me to pop in what's the word I'm looking for? Pop in the data and the sheet, and see how that all works. Let me see if I can find it really quick. PPL proposal list, content ideas. I have it in here somewhere. one. There we go. So, you drop in your information and you set your cities. Like this one, you see that was targeting some big ones. And then I got the forms in here and just kind of drop all that information in there and do it by California for whatever if you wanted to. And then there's another one that I have in here. Where is it? I think this is an old one. Yeah, that's real old. Oh, I didn't either. I'll have to find it. Maybe I can share it with you guys. But basically, what I do is I just take those the data points and then run all that traffic in there, and then do some a little bit of, hey, this is I expect this much traffic to click through. It's either worth it or it's not. And then I also use this CPC data, multiply that times 4. That's what I'll charge for the lead. So in this case, shingles roofers, I'll rank for it. 390 times 4 is, let's do the math because I don't do math in my head, $15 a lead. So that's what I would charge for phone calls that this page would generate. It'd be $15 a lead. And here, roofing companies, I can actually get away with charging some more. And then roofing contractors. Now you might look at this and say $31 times 4 is a lot, and that is. So how I get around that is I charge them for phone calls that are over a period of time. First, you know what I mean. So because a lot of times you're going to get those people that scrape and you're going to ring their phone and blah 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 and bots and stuff, and we're not going to charge them for any of those things. We just want to charge them for phone calls that last over a specific period of time. And then I use call tracking metrics, which records all the phone calls, so I can even go even granular like that. Phone calls that actually turn into a lead for a roof. And it's a little bit more manual, but you can just hire a VA at that point when you're charging $31 a lead to go through and listen to those and make sure that it's actually looking for a roof. And that will help you out with your invoicing and stuff, and your clients will be a lot better versus a home advisor lead that gets to there and they're like, "Oh no, I never wanted that. I never wanted you to call me," or that kind of crap. So you're getting around that. I'm gonna keep letting this run, but you can see, this one's taking forever. But you see, it's popping in more of these diamonds, and so these are essentially going to be my pages when I build this website. The diamonds are there, so it's a diamond in the rough. So that's what we're going to do. So that's the keyword process. I kind of follow that same methodology regardless of what I'm doing. If I'm doing a local site or a news site or whatever, I follow that same keyword methodology. You'll see more of it inside of the on-page course, but for the most part, I think I gave you the nuts and bolts so you can kind of put that together all by yourself. And um, it'll take you a little bit more time just to research the method. But at the end of the day, keyword research is kind of subjective based off of what's important to you and how you're going to monetize the website too. So buyer intent and all that madness. But for now, you know what we're going to do with the roofing, and that's how that's going to go. Let's see. Questions. Any reason for the 4x? Well, I'm ranking for it, right? I'm not doing ads. I can do ads for it if I want to, but I'm doing SEO stuff. I'm putting all the initial marketing effort into it. I'm getting the website ranked. I built the website. I did all the content. I did the copy, and I ranked it, and I want to get paid. I'm not necessarily trying to do a Google Ads play. I am actually doing a play where I'm providing you much better results. And the selling position for PPL really, if you're smart, is that you're getting better leads than the home advisors and all that stuff that you're competing against. And two, it also brings a little bit of trust too, because If you get a PPL client, and let's say you want to transfer from PPL into agency or kind of do both, you sell them initially on PPL. This is all the stuff that we're doing to you. Here's the leads you're going to get, etc. That's what you're paying, and then they know what it's worth, and then they come to you and ask for you to rank their website, and you're going to sign them up for a long-term content contract. And then you do that long-term contract, and the why and the amount of money that they know they're going to make is kind of already pre-sold. Um, because you're doing SEO, you're doing a rank and rent site, for the lack of a better term, and you're selling them the phone calls, so they know that any site that you rank potentially can generate that same amount of phone calls, and actually the ROI is there. In the meantime, you're selling phone calls. At watch time, if they're also doing a SEO play and paying you $1,500 a month plus the SEO, you can change that 4x to 2x. And okay, we're going to keep your we're going to do your website and do your SEO, and we're going to charge you less for the leads while we're doing it. So I think that would be a good sales positive too. So that's kind of why the 4x, just you want to get paid. Right. And if you're qualifying the phone calls, you're doing some extra work there too, that no one else is doing for them. So it's kind of an easy sell once you got it going on, and you can prove that you have phone calls coming. Let's see. All right. So you guys have any questions on that? Go ahead and let me know. I don't see much more in the chat. Let's see. What do you think of free SEO audits as lead gen? Do you recommend any services that add free onto your site? Web CEO. I'll say that we had it on over the top SEO, and I had it on Digital Ear. Digital Ear was just junk, and then OTT, we got so popular that all our traffic was going to the free tools, and that was essentially all that we were getting out of it. And we got some leads and stuff, but it wasn't leads for anything like we wanted. If you want a list of freebie seekers, I would go ahead and drop that in there, and you can kind of turn that into a like you're doing a newsletter or something like that. See if you could tie that in there to keep the newsletter and get it top of mind, and to boost your authority up in the space of SEO, so that other SEOs come to you, and then hopefully you'll get some traffic benefit, and that traffic benefit turns into branding, and then maybe it turns into a client down the road. That's a really long play though. And for what those services cost, I mean, it's gotta really be worth it. And those things are kind of weak, when you give them uh, one of those audits, and it looks like, oh, you only got to do a limited 1, 2, and 3 thing. Then you ask them for $1,500, and they're like, "What? Are you out of your mind? I can go to, I don't know, I can do a Fiverr, I can pay a freelancer on Upwork or whatever, way less than that." So you have to worry about that too. So again, it's the quality of the audit and what you're going to do. When I do those kind of SEO audits for leads kind of thing, I kind of reverse the path. You know what I mean? So I don't let them come find me. I go out and seek markets that I want to jump into, and then I'll just run a Screaming Frog report on their website, and kind of send them all that. Or run a Quora or a Quora Lite report and send them all that. And I say, here's this, I did this free audit. Here's what I found. If you want some more information, etc., you can do that. And you can actually turn that into outreach, and you can also make videos and rank it for their business name. I've done that before. Or you can do a form where they request to audit. You can run this Sitebulb or whatever tool you want. I prefer Sitebulb. And a Quora Lite together, and give them all that information, and kind of, hey, this is what we found on your website. If you want some more stuff, schedule a call with us, and we can either explain this, and at that time is when you have an opportunity for your pitch too. So be a little bit wary of those free SEO audit things. Everyone in the Brothers got one. What makes you special? Unless you're a dev and you can make something that's really badass, and you're using the same thing everyone else is using, it's kind of like a waste of time, in my opinion. Let's see. I don't see any more questions in either of the platforms. So it looks like that's it. Like I said, slow episode. Um, Next week we'll go into. I don't know if I'll have the page built by then because I'm working on the course. Um, so we'll see what the next step is in this PPL thing. I'm doing the schema course, and then this is kind of a mini course, right? So on the PPL stuff. Maybe what we'll do is do some sitemap stuff and how to map this out and turn this information into the website design, the website layout. See, this is populating with some more stuff too. Turn that into the website layout. That way, we know where to build, and I think that'll be the next step in this whole madness of the PPL thing. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week on SEO This Week.